The ANC is expected to focus on strategies for the upcoming local government elections on day 3 of the party's National General Council. Party leaders have repeatedly warned that the ANC must shape up or face extinction. So central to today's talks is a proposed set of stricter criteria for those who may stand as candidates on the party's behalf. Newzroom Afrika's Conita Hunter is there and has been there just watching these developments at what is a really pivotal moment for the party. We know the NGC is the highest decision-making body for the party between their national conferences, and this is in the lead-up to a local government election year, and they certainly had their work cut out for them, Juanita. So just share with us the direction in which those discussions are heading today.
Well, Iman, an important day here at the NGC. Yesterday, commissions began, and today they will continue. There will be 17 of them. And like you said, a big focus on local government and the upcoming election strategy. But also of equal importance is a conversation around reviewing or reassessing the country's transformation policies. And there has been discussions around economic employment, what those policies mean. When the NGC started, President Cyril Ramaphosa was firm against those who have been perpetuating misinformation and disinformation around South Africa's transformation policies. But there has been a concession from the ANC and from government that BBEE, as we know it, has to be tweaked in some way to have greater empowerment impact. And so joining me for this conversation now is Minister Parks Tau. Minister, today you wear an ANC hat. There has been conversations, particularly as per the core document that has been circulated before this NGC, around the need to relook and revamp empowerment policies. Talk to me about what's on the table.
Well, thank you very much and good morning. Firstly, I should say that we continue to celebrate the progress that has been made with regards to broad-based black economic empowerment, the reality that you've seen a significant increase of the number of black enterprises that are able to grow in the country, that are able to participate in economic activity. We've seen an increase in the number of entrepreneurs that have shareholding in major enterprises that have listed on the stock exchange. We've seen significant progress with regards to employment equity, senior management positions, both in government and in the private sector. But we also acknowledge that, in fact, we haven't gone far enough, that we actually need to accelerate, because policies are there to be reviewed. You need to evaluate the impact of the policy, the extent to which the policy has reached the majority of people that you'd want to get to, and ensure that you're able to review so that you improve the outcomes that you have set out for yourselves. And that's exactly what we'd be doing.
So the core document that was circulated to delegates spoke about a reorientation of affirmative action laws. What can that look like?
Well, firstly, it says that it is important that we reach out to the people at the lowest rung of the empowerment ladder, if you'd like. So if you look at micro enterprises, if you look at small enterprises, and we haven't had the instruments that reach them in a manner that is as efficient as we'd like to be. And some of it is regulatory processes. So how do you reach people that are not registered as enterprises but are active in the economy of South Africa? How do you ensure that people who would want to grow their enterprises but do not have a balance sheet that can carry them to that growth, find equity mechanisms through which government can support them, and blended financing instruments through which we can support them. So we need to look at how we enhance the impact of broad-based black economic empowerment and ensure that it reaches most people that would want to be entrepreneurs that have historically been disadvantaged and would want to have access to the opportunity.
In 2025, some 30 years after democracy, the word transformation, and particularly BE, has been repurposed and almost equates to being a swear word of some sort, given the levels of corruption and the repurposing of transformation initiatives for selfish personal gain. And there's a lot of anecdotal evidence in that regard. You also have the Democratic Alliance, the ANC's GNU partner, pushing forward on an effort to do away with BEE as you know it and use and reimagine transformation not based on race. Is the ANC going to be doubling down or going to concede to some of the shortfalls of the mechanisms around BEE?
Well, firstly, I should say that those that are opponents of transformation and the empowerment of black people who've historically been disadvantaged in this country are selective in their analysis. The reality is that if you look at the arguments they've made, they've even said only 100 people have been empowered. The truth is that's far from reality. That if you look at the number of enterprises that participate in enterprise and supplier development programs in private companies, that's part of the empowerment architecture of this country. If you look at the number of people that have gained access to management opportunities in terms of employment equity, that's part of the empowerment program. If you look at skills development programs that are being driven from an empowerment point of view, that's part of what you're achieving. So they are deliberate in actually undermining the processes and policies around broad-based black economic empowerment. Have there been areas of excess and abuse? Certainly, and we all know that there are certain areas where we need to look at the abuse and excesses that are there. Some of them direct criminal in nature, some of them excessive demands on money to be deployed to individuals for not participating in an enterprise, but say we demand 30%, but we're not going to be part of the delivery program. We don't have capacity. Some of it would have been fronting that happens in the country, and that's been a particularly significant problem. So there are challenges, but you don't stop and say, I'm not going to achieve my objectives because there have been challenges.
All right, thank you very much. That was Minister Parks Tau speaking in his capacity as an ANC NEC member around a very important discussion today about black economic empowerment here at the National General Council. There will be commissions nitpicking on this and seeing what needs to be reviewed and what the party needs to double down on.